Roger, Garp, Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, everyone in God Valley is completely stunned as Emu turns Xebec into a demon.
God have mercy upon us.
These guys were the strongest not only of their era but in all of One Piece, yet their combined attack didn't even scratch Emu. However, Xebec is still desperately trying to fight Emu's domi reversi. We even see bursts of Conqueror's Haki coming out as Rocks has a conversation with the devil. Emu treats Xebec as just another thorn in his 800-year project to create Mu's world, which is his dream of absolute dominion over the planet. He calls out Xebec for being obstinate, which is a word that carries a lot of weight for the situation. It is used against someone stubbornly refusing to change ways, even under pressure. Emu's domi reversi is an ability which uses the chaos of your emotions and instinctual will to overpower your own sense of reason with Emu's. However, Xebec with his abundant Conqueror's Haki doesn't want to fall. He is still fighting, as he calls Emu a beast that should not underestimate humans. Then, out of nowhere, Xebec reveals that Davy D Jones was the name of the previous king of the world, which likely means that the Davy family ruled the ancient kingdom, the strongest and most technologically advanced country before the Void Century. However, Emu instantly refutes that, saying he was never a king to begin with, which makes me think that the definition of king between Xebec and Emu differs. To Emu, it means absolute control over the planet and its inhabitants. With him having the power and right to define what history is, it will let him define what justice is for people too, just like the Celestials have in the current era. But Emu still has to have the reverie, create a facade of the democratic rule of the world through the different kingdoms coming together every 4 years. Officially, Emu doesn't even exist. Nobody sits on the empty throne of the world. There are no kings. There are no world rulers. But to Xebec, it probably means the strongest pirate or the freest man, similar to what a pirate king is to us and present. Now, it is possible that Davy Jones was the king of the ancient kingdom, or at least was supposed to inherit the throne. However, he never did because the ancient kingdom was wiped off the map. Those of you who watched the live reaction live stream yesterday at 9 AM CST that we do every Friday, there's a chapter, you know what I am going to explain now. But before I reveal the secret about the Will of D, I want you to play today's sponsor, Goddess of Victory, Nika. This peak sci-fi RPG game is celebrating its 3-year anniversary, which means it's giving out hella rewards. 220 free pulls, a free SSR character chime, brand new banners for Nayuta and Liberalio, along with new skins. For the 3rd-year anniversary, you can enjoy a brand new storyline like Nika's ultimate endgame battle. Basically, all the legendary Nikas in all of history have assembled for the final confrontation against the Rapture Queen. Nika has even done collaborations with Chainsaw Man, Nier Automata, ReZero, Evangelion, and so many more. They aren't done yet with all of that though, as this anniversary update is packed with things, with a brand new opening animation and the huge new surface beta mode. Whether you are a returning player or a brand new Nika enjoyer, the new highly rated story mode that has developed over 3 years is super approachable to everyone with zero grind, especially with the 3D event map and the fully voiced cutscenes. If you love anime storytelling, emotional endings, and peak music, download Goddess of Victory Nika now using the link below for the 3rd-year anniversary before the event is over. We know that there were other nations and kings before the Void Century, like the Nefertari family's rule over Alabasta, or the 19 other kings with their kingdoms. Yet, the ancient kingdom with its technological strength was at the top, being the strongest. If we look at the story of the Tontatas about them being used as slaves for the humans over 900 years ago by the Don Quixote family of Dressrosa, we learn that the ancient kingdom, although strong, didn't interfere much with what other kingdoms practiced. This is a nation that Joy Boy came out of. Even Davy D Jones Jones. Just by being the enemy of Emu, the ancient kingdom, at least 800 years ago, were the good guys. Now, if this nation had control over the world, do you really think they would allow the Tontatas to be abused like this? No, they wouldn't. The ancient kingdom let the world do what they pleased in their own kingdoms until Joy Boy started to go around the world sharing his pink sake or liberating the oppressed or discriminated people of the planet. Similar to his promise for the mermaid princess about helping the fishmen live on the surface, bro was helping everyone. Now, the people in power, like the Don Quixote family, wouldn't like these revolutions because their way of life, the economy of Dressrosa, is based on slave labor from the Tontata race. If Joy Boy is telling them to lock in and stop doing labor for free, how the hell is Doflamingo's ancestor gonna afford his drip? Because he got that shit on. So Emu goes around, uses this change that is occurring in the world, which is discomforting for the kings, manipulates them like the devil on their shoulder to fight against the strongest kingdom so he can take power over the world. Emu would say something like this: Joy Boy is from the ancient kingdom. If he wants, he can use the mother flame to blow up your island, twin. Let's join together and mess him up. He hates all of us non-ancient kingdomers. That's why he's freeing the slaves. He is after our way of life. We know Emu was manipulating people because Nefertari D. Lily, who was an ally of Joy Boy before, and even Zunisha, fell into this trap. Due to the betrayals and Emu's trickery, Joy Boy lost. However, before his final breath, he learned of the future. We know they had knowledge of the future through Toki traveling to the exact moment she needed to using her Toki Toki no Mi. Like, bro, she prophesizes Nika's arrival through her final words. You are the moon unaware of the dawn. May your purpose be fulfilled and cast 9 shadows on the night woven of 20 years, and you shall know the brilliance of the dawn. How the hell did she know that Nika was gonna spawn in Wano and Joy Boy would return? Which is what knowing the brilliance of the dawn means in exactly 20 years. This is some next level balls deep prediction, and it's not by chance. Now, most members of the Davy clan decided to let the prophecy play out, all their wills being passed on to their descendants to one day help a Joy Boy once he returns. However, there are some D clan members who like cherry pie instead of meat pie. Their goals are the same. They both want pies, which means to free the world from Emu's tyranny. Yet there are differences between the two sides of the half moon, like how Blackbeard and Xebec believe in liberating the world and asserting their own brand of control through strength, like in Hachinose, the countries they rule. While Luffy doesn't want to be a king, conqueror, or even a hero. He just wants absolute freedom for himself and his nakama. However, Davy D. Jones, being inspired by or influenced by Joy Boy's efforts, decided to act towards liberating the world 800 years ago instead of waiting for the prophecy of dawn to come true. Remember, the Void Century is a conflict that spanned 100 years. It's the same thing we see with Xebec wanting to destroy Emu by acting himself instead of waiting for the right time or the prophecy to be fulfilled, which is what Roger did after finding the One Piece and learning the real truth about the world's history. And he's someone who inherited Joy Boy's will. Now look, if Joy Boy with his Nika fruit powers joined alongside Davy Jones, who probably had the darkness fruit, they would be able to defeat Emu. However, okay, now there's the third fruit, the soul fruit, which is gonna shine light on the devil that Loki has, but we're not gonna get into the whole fruit mechanic stuff, okay? That's for a different video. If you want to learn more about that, watch the Blackbeard video that Yusuf made like over a month ago. However, Joy Boy and Davy D. Jones never fought together against Emu because Davy D. Jones wasn't present at the battle against the devil, since we don't see him in the mural, which is a children's drawing from 800 years ago depicting the battle. Furthermore, Xebec calls Davy D. Jones the previous king of the world. However, Emu says he was never king. It's possible that that he was part of the royal line of the ancient kingdom to inherit the throne. However, the kingdom was destroyed before he could become king. So instead, similar to young Loki being inspired by rocks, he followed in Joy Boy's footsteps and became a pirate. Because remember, Davy Jones was a pirate. Bro literally created the Davy back fight for pirate crews, and now, according to Xebec, he was a king too. Which means Davy Jones was the pirate king. Furthermore, Emu rages at Xebec, saying that Xebec has no place in the fate that binds Mu and Davy, which to me sounds like even Emu knows about the prophecy of the dawn, which is likely similar to the promise Davy gave to Emu. That's why Emu is shitting bricks. Remember, in chapter 908, we learn that the world's equilibrium, or Emu's dominance so far for 8 centuries, cannot be maintained forever. The Gorosei understand this. While we hear this, Emu throws knives at the mermaid princess Shirahoshi, Nefertari D, Vivi, Luffy, and Blackbeard. It took a long time, but people with the same will of D to free the world from the devil have assembled. All empires or rulers eventually end. Death comes for all. It is one undeniable truth which Emu and his immortal goons have been the most scared of. Not just in a physical sense, but the fall of the world government or their dominance's end. That's why they want to control every single aspect of the world. If they aren't at the top, the ones who are might just oppress them because they can't fathom people like Luffy, Joy Boy, or Harold who are okay with living together with other races without a oppressive hierarchy existing. The Avengers of Dawn are here to end this goofball though. This dude Emu really believes that if he just wipes out every lineage that has rebellious spirit, people will stop like dreaming and wanting freedom. In reality, the liberator Nika came from the dreams and wishes of the collective slaves from the first world that wanted freedom. Another one will keep rising. It's like a game of whack-a-mole. Emu just cannot win for eternity unless he just kills everyone and is the only survivor until the end of time, because you know he's the only dreamer left. If you oppress people, they will eventually start fighting against you. It's like a boiling pot of water. Like you can put a lid on that shit, but like the pressure will build up and blow it right off eventually. Coming back to the chapter though, Xebec says that Davy Jones is just a name. Why are you so scared if it doesn't matter much? He's saying that Emu is afraid because he knows deep down the truth about the lid blowing off. Afraid that one day everyone's gonna inherit Davy's will and fulfill the promise of dawn. Xebec then wonders who Emu is more scared of, Davy D Jones or Joy Boy, which proves that these two were two different individuals who went against the world government, each with their own way of bringing dawn to the world. These names trigger the shit out of Emu. Emu is shitting bricks. I'm telling you, this whole chapter, he says that they shall never resurface as long as Xebec falls into oblivion. Once Rocks and his son are dead in God Valley, Emu's rule will be cemented because Emu has found the perfect soldiers in Elbaf. The giants are gentle and indecisive. They are speared by Harold's belief in the good of people before the bad, the perfect type to manipulate. Their nature starts off by seeing the good in others. They trust people before distrusting them. Xebec is mad angry at this comment. This is his best friend that Emu's talking about, okay? Emu then reveals another level to his power. His plan is of course to domi reversi the giants and use them in his army. At the end of the day, he views the race of giants as nothing but weapons. He plans to turn them into demons or even just bring them to his side. We know later on that this is very successful as the Marines literally have a giant unit. But I think an even crazier plot twist would be that Emu's plan for the final war is to domi reversi all of the different giants, just like we see with Dodi and Bragi. Maybe even using the demon Xebec to attack Harold himself. Finally, the domi reversi of Rocks is successful, as Emu commands the end of Davy's dream. He falls to the ground with Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido confused as to what happened to their captain. As he stands up, Demon Xebec launches at his crewmates. First, it's Kaido, who eats a devastating strike. than even Big Mom thinks. The man who has been by Xebec's side the longest though, Edward Newgate, is much tougher. He realizes that rocks isn't rocks right now, yet he must defend himself. So instead of using his Murakumogiri, he uses his bare arm in a defensive position to block Xebec's strike. This clash is so busted that it literally makes one of the mountains like fall in God Valley, bro. They destroyed a whole ass island-sized goddamn mountain with one hockey clash. It's GG for the island, to be honest, bro. Like, I guess now we know why bro is said to be able to destroy the whole world. One of the mountains falling is also pretty symbolic to the fall of Xebec, one of the mountains of this era, especially for the non-government side, with Harold probably being the second mountain who is said to be his equal, or even symbolizing the fall of Davy Jones of this era, while Roger, who embodies Joy Boy, is still alive. This has caused the warships on the northeast coast to be completely obliterated, causing the Celestials to go on a full-on panic mode. While in the southwest region, the opposite end of the island, Rayleigh and the Roger crew are ready to board their ship with treasure, which includes a sleeping baby inside a chest, which is of course Shanks. My god, Monkey Debbie Dragon though, he is devastated, bro. Come here, dude. Come here. There you go. It's okay, bro. It's okay, bro. He couldn't even save one tiny baby, guys. This is reminding me of Luffy in what's like chapter 513. Like, he was on the ground, same pose as his father, right? Crying that he wasn't strong enough to defend any of his friends against Kuma. Like, there's their dragon. This will be your glow up, gang. It's okay, guys. It's really okay, all right? Like, this is not a dragon downscale, all right? Low-key, this is a dragon upscale, okay? Like, he might be in ground, like, we haven't seen him fight in God Valley, but like, this is his defining moment, okay? Let me explain. How can I explain this as the upscale, bro? Hold up. Let me think about this real quick, okay?
2 hours later.
Okay, I got it, okay? Similarly, this is a defining setback for Dragon. Witnessing the peak strength of the world and realizing your own shortcoming is what will fuel Dragon to become the GOAT he is today. Some would even call Dragon the strongest of all time, like in all of One Piece, in all of fiction. Because like, imagine, yeah, he is on the ground crying. You know what happened to Luffy after he was on the ground crying like that? He had a whole ass 2-year training arc. But we don't see Dragon becoming a freedom fighter until like 10 years later. So if Luffy leveled up this much in 2 years of training arc, imagine Dragon. Imagine like a 10-year Dragon training arc, bro. He is him. He's busted. He's broken beyond belief. He's so strong that like, you know how Whitebeard just like fighting destroyed the mountain? Imagine like Dragon lifts a finger, uses his power. The whole world could be at risk, Chad. He's him. This just proves it, to be honest. Like, okay. And another thing that upscales Dragon, like, shut your who is the real MVP of God Valley? It's Bartholomew Kuma, okay? And he does some crazy shit this chapter too. All right, like this dude has been saving every person he can find, but with the mountain falling and the island crumbling, Ivankov wants him to stop. But Kuma finds one more. It's none other than Eris and Teach, with Xebec right behind them. Eris realizes that Xebec lost against Imu, since, you know, bro became a demon just like all the other Davy clan members. She also says that Xebec wasn't ready to face Imu yet, which definitely means he didn't have the darkness fruit or the Nika fruit to fight against the devil. This also proves that Eris knows everything Xebec knew about Davy Jones's promise and even Joy Boy, which she likely told Teach. Because just as Xebec is about to murder these two, Kuma the GOAT poofs them out of God Valley. The strike lines up with their disappearing, making Imu and everyone present believe that Xebec killed his own family. This dude Kuma saved both spears of the D clan, Luffy and Teach. Without him, the dawn of Nika never comes. Like, he is the undisputed GOAT of One Piece, and since he works for my GOAT, Monkey Debbie Dragon is him. Like, that's a clear Dragon upscale, bro. Like, he works for Dragon. Come on. Guys, like, he joined Dragon. He looked up to Dragon. This guy who saved everyone, who sacrificed so much, he looked up to Dragon. Imagine how goated Dragon must be once we actually, like, learn about his lore, his backstory. Alright, I rest my case.
Are you serious right now, bro?
Imu then orders orders Xebec to kill everyone on the island, but as Demon Xebec begins his slaughter, Garp and Roger hear a voice in their head. It's none other than Xebec. He begs them, with tears in his eyes, to kill him. This action shocks even Emu. Xebec was so under control that he just swung at his own wife and son. He believes he killed them. This likely charged up his haki so much that he regained a bit of control against Emu's possession, and using the voice of all things, Xebec asks the two strongest men on the island to put an end to him. This is playing out exactly as Sengoku said. To defeat Rocks, Garp and Roger teamed up, protecting the Celestials and their slaves like we saw earlier in the chapter. This battle will cause the destruction of God Valley. Xebec likely wants to die because it's possible that Emu's possession lingers on, turning him into his puppet. Because we know of Gunko, who was known by Brooks as a child that fell into the hands of the Celestials and now is completely brainwashed, being used by Emu as a vessel to appear in Elbaf. Perhaps that's what Xebec is even more afraid of than killing his wife and child. His body and power falling into the government's hand would surely help accelerate the creation of Mu's world. Now, there is another reason Xebec would want to die. It's because of the fruit he has eaten, which can pass his soul onto his child Blackbeard. That's why he has such a unique body, even being called they by Luffy and Zoro at the start. Crazy ass chapter, bro. Like, bro, when I first read this for the first time, I low-key teared up. I saw that panel of like Xebec crying. It wasn't even like good quality panel. You know those leaked panels? I saw that, right? Low-key, I was tearing up. Also, another thing, like quick thing. You know, like as God Valley started, right? Like the incident started and like everyone was like, oh my god, Roger, he's a gooner. He's after all the baddies. Garp, he's protecting the slaves. In the end, they are all redeemed, bro. They all beat the allegations. Rocks had insane aura. Roger in this final panel, Garp in this final panel calling the Gorosei maggots and shit, like beat the allegations. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys next week. There's a chapter next week too. Holy shit, bruh. Let's go, no break.